battle for the bottom.
Just like you are. In the Synderen and Sunsman relationship, Synderen is a top.
Okay, well, that became very sexual very fast. So we're going to try to change the subject here. T-Gov here with Sunsfan.
Cindy Sunsfan.
Synsfan.
Sind was first, securing my point.
So this is a three-way tie for the bottom. The two that win get to stay in Division 1. Wait. No. The one that wins
there we go.
Gets to stay Division 1. Bottom two are out. And the reason that we have this three-way tie is because of this exact matchup where Felt were, well, they weren't doing too hot, let's say. They didn't win a single game until their very final match in which they actually beat the Cut.
And they did that with a different carry player than the one they're using currently.
That's true.
And Stonebank. And Stonebank is the Dog Champ carry, and I believe he also played in the Arkosh series earlier today.
Oh, how did that game go?
Dog Champ beat Arkosh 2-1.
Oh.
Therefore, now in Division 2, there is a tie-break between 2-based and Arkosh. Loser is eliminated from Division 2.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Arkosh in shambles.
Oh, crash, more like.
Very, very sad to hear. But Felt versus the Cut. I mean, we've cast, I guess I have a lot of these games.
All right, Jesus.
I've cast a lot of these games from the three teams that we're going to be casting, and for the Cut specifically, we see some weird heroes from time to time. The techies for Mr. B God, who I think is exceptionally good, by the way. That's my boy, even though I've never spoken to him my entire life. But Clinks has been a standard pick, a very normal pick for Scourge. And they've been the underdog in basically every match, so it hasn't looked particularly good. I think they did win one that I was watching, though. But it is a weird hero. Why do you think this hero is just ignored everywhere except for this specific team? It's
ignored because the hero... So when the hero is greedy, often there are earlier timings that you can play around to bridge the gap of the greed. So like a Terrorblade has meta, so you can take some towers. Medusa buys Manta and you're tanky with Mana Shield, so you can at least group around her and have some type of objective pressure. Clinks, the complete opposite. You are a literal creep through lane, through the early game. You pick up a Maelstrom, you can then farm some Ancients with your Barrage, but you still need that additional item. You're always on that ever chase for the next item to feel good, as B-God is going to be going down.
Yep, he gets the high five off though, so he goes out in style at the very least. So First Blood, the way of Fade, who is their stand-in today from 5-man Midas.
But he also, the last time Fade, I believe, played, at least competitively, he played in Pro Series with Dog Champ, the mid lane, playing with Stonebank, who was the carry, so...
Okay.
He also probably played some Division 2 stuff, maybe with Midas, but yeah, it's cool to see the players. Again, it's a very NA thing, right? To swap between these Div 2 teams non-stop, or
this
Div
is
1,
true.
Div 2 teams.
It's a constant recycle.
Yep.
Some would call it a dumpster, but I will not be so callous with my words. I do have to give a quick shout out to Fade, because I was wondering, based on the spelling, that is the hero from Heroes of Newerth. And then I clicked on his profile, and his avatar is another hero called Dark Lady, also from Heroes of Newerth, both of which would be great in this game. Now that that game's officially dead, T-Gov, would love to see a lot of those designs.
Fade is also the same username as the Malaysian coach and analyst for Team Secret in Valorant. So a lot of crossovers here.
Could be the same person for all we know. Might play Valorant on the side as a coach.
Team Secret having presence in this Div 1 NA game.
That's right. So
not the same person, by the way.
No, of course not.
Just in case we're going to get a lawsuit.
I'm sure there's... Here we go with the lawsuits again. The orb out from Shaggy. And this is one of his better heroes, of course. We see him...
Oh, it's about Secret as well. I sure yesterday was the lawsuit with Secret. Yeah, and their naming. Oh my god.
Man, I don't know how you sleep at night when you worry about lawsuits night and day.
I mean...
It's the only thing on your mind.
We have a platform to speak, and sometimes that can get you in trouble, so always scared.
Yep, that is true. You have to be very careful not to break copyright, which apparently exists in free speech.
We're very good at singing, so I can see why the copyright would hit. With our tunes.
Just sounds exactly like the original. As we can see, in terms of just the CS alone between the position ones, and obviously the Clinks is kind of the one that I want to target in terms of just like the storyline of the game, because it is such a weird hero that most people don't get to see. Mr. Scourge is sitting on 19 and 3. As we see a little action here in the top lane. Zor's going to beat Jubei out of here as the position 5 Dawnbreaker.
Yep, the good thing with this Klinks, he has one of the strongest position 5s to help him out in regards to Dawnbreaker. Other lanes that work well for Klinks is like Clockwork, just these heroes that can tank up a lot of the spells, and in doing so, this, yes, 23 for 4 going towards the Klinks. Night Stalker only 10 for 2. Zor spent a lot of time running around, kind of helping out the Mastery, trying to fight this Dawnbreaker, but in doing so, Scourge Product has had a pretty jolly free time. I think the biggest loser of laning phase so far is probably Radix, but that's only because this position 5 Viper is the counter to a Timbersaw. Later on, Timber will scale to be perfectly fine, arguably probably level 6 and a Hood, but until then, Timber will be a little bit down. Again, CS-wise, he's doing perfectly fine, but still, not dominating the lane that you often do see with Timbersaws.
Yeah, but like you said, it is Radix playing the Timbersaw, so I'm sure he'll be just fine. We do obviously see the techies, which you guys kind of discussed. Not another hero that's been not picked very often. And, I mean, obviously, like these guys said, it's not anywhere near the old techies. You don't have to change your game plan necessarily to go against it. But, I mean, it does feel like it's, like the first thing I think of is Blast Off. It's like the main thing you probably focus on in the early game to get these kills. The silence is ridiculous. The burst damage is a lot.
It also has a lot of wave clip. You have to respect when you get to proximity mines, you're pretty much one-hitting the waves. And then the 15-minute timing of picking up Shard, it's one of the few heroes, like Dawnbreaker as well, like you have these heroes at 15, you instantly buy Shard, and your game plan just completely changes. So in this instance, additional cast range, you have a stun on your blast off. You pair that with a puck, you're keeping heroes in an AoE, throwing the blast off on top, it just simplifies the team fights early on. But again,
Scourge. Yep, that's
kill.
the burning barrage. So he gets the kill here.
And the fact that he had a pretty uncontested lane, he had a quick javelin, it does give him a little bit of kill threat in this lane, as you see here. But this will just get more difficult. Look at Zor just clubbing him away.
It is nighttime after all. Zor feels like a real hero finally.
And this is where Klinks will feel not like a hero, as he needs to most likely retreat from this lane, unless they rotate people in.
Yep, sticky bomb. Soldier's not going to care too much. In fact, he's going to get rebounded off of, but the coil comes in. Blast off. Actually, that was the dispose. Same animation, of course. It is a blink of sorts. It'll lead to the kill onto B-God, but Shaggy looks to be just fine as the position 5 Viper comes in.
Whoops on in, very slowly.
It looks like a very slow version of the Elder Dragon there. Let's wake me up. Oh, Shaggy finds a nice pick off there. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 in the end.
Yep. Double dire vision, great camera placement, by the way, Shaggy.
Calculated.
Oh, that's gotta hurt. You get the D ward, you have both wards available, and you get a kill. Yeah, Puck. Really enjoying his time here.
Yeah, Soldier's off to a pretty good start, though. Top net worth in the game. And you said that this Klinks kind of takes off after, you said you get the Maelstrom, then what's the next item? Like, do you go for, I mean, I guess from what I've seen, they go Scotty relatively early. Obviously, BKB at some point.
Exactly. That's pretty much it. I don't think there's much variation in that. You might argue there could be a Dragon Lance in there as well. He might look to go for a Hurricane Pike. Okay. Just to have some disconnect from the Static Link, the Night Stalker as well. Even Marcy, when you jump in, you quickly just push the Marcy back and then suddenly you're pinging from a distance. But yeah, it's pretty much just getting raw stats. Dragon Lance, Skadi, you buy a Shard to get the little skeletons.
I feel like there's any value in Gleipnir.
Unfortunately, not this game. It's not really a pick-off style of game, and I feel like the BKBs, DK, Razor, and Night Stalker thrive with buying BKB relatively early, first, second items. So you buying a, what's it called, 7k item go.
Dispose with Dust, Scourge is dead. He's gonna get some backup coming though. Jubei trying to get some collateral, and the coil comes in from Shaggy on the south. And a blast off to finish this in style, but they still lose their position 1 Klinks. But while this is happening, some pressure in the tier 1 mid.
A little bit of mid tickling there, but yeah, going back to your question, most likely not Gleipnir. Not really killing anyone.
Sad.
Very, I'm sorry. There's not a lot of heroes that really buy it. I think we saw some Monkey King position 4s get super greedy and buy it. Klinks, of course, could maybe buy it in the right game, but kind of a dead item.
It feels very expensive.
It is. What is the cost of that bad boy nowadays? Let's double check.
Yeah, give us the numbers, please.
6150, Christ.
Well, minus a Maelstrom, right?
I mean, if you want to look at it that way, sure.
Well, he's going to get a Maelstrom anyway. So.
Sounds like an investment way to look at it, sure. How's your investments doing right now? You're a crypto boy?
God, no.
Congratulations.
You're going to see Shaggy take a tumble here. A nice pick off there for Felt, as they can probably get the tier 1 tower as well, as Zor getting chased out. But it is nighttime, like we said, so he's got that extra movement speed and the double bracers for the extra heft and girth. As Felt with a 2K lead to start this game, as B-God's going to get disposed. Nether Toxin with the right clicks coming out from the Viper.
Oh, he's going to kill him.
Yeah, blast off. Wake Me Up is dead.
And he used the smoke as well.
So B-God, he gets, I mean, this is why this guy's amazing. He gets ganked in a 1v2 and he gets the kill. He's very healthy.
Obviously, you're, you know, American.
Yeah.
Where would you rate B-God on the tier list of support players? I've been hearing his name a lot across the European scene. Is he the up-and-comer, or is he just like a stable fringe player? You know what I mean?
He sounds like, or he looks like an up-and-comer to me. If I'm being, we'll talk about it after this replay. We get to see B-God at his best. Kaboom! Beast mode. Look at him. Look at that face. That's the face of a killer.
Slight eyebrow raise.
No, but based on the games I've played, obviously, like, these teams have not done well. They are the bottom 3 for a reason.
I'm speaking relatively based on, in NA, you have the teams that go to the major, the teams that are kind of getting better, and then you have the rest, right?
Right.
The Div 2, Div 1 teams that always circulate, right? And this is where these teams obviously exist, in that kind of ecosystem of you don't really know who's the best at any point, relative. But in regards to those groups of teams.
Yeah, I think he's an up-and-comer. I put him on the same tier as probably Little Nick.
Ah, okay.
I'm hoping that like they can get picked up by these teams, as we're going to see the Solar Guardian come in. It's going to connect successfully with the Starbreaker onto the Viper, who looks to be mega dead. Shaggy taking a lot of damage, but had his orb out, so Wake Me Up is going to drop trying to pursue him. As the Chakram's going to clip Fade, and the cut. Soldier's just playing with their food right now. Sticky Bomb does connect on the Soldier, who's slowed to a crawl. And that's going to be another kill going the way of the cut, who stick around with low HP, but they didn't lose anybody. 3 for nothing.
That was actually a beautiful team fight from the cut. They initiated, disengaged. No one who was on low HP ran away from the fight in the hope to reset. They played just perfectly. That was really nice kiting in the early engagements, and that's exactly what they got to do right now. Punishing
back to your discussion, because I do find it interesting. There's not that many young players.
That's true.
In NA.
That's not.
It feels like it is the region that is least represented from influx of new players. And B-God is just somebody, I don't know who he played on before, but he stood out in many matches so far in this DPC, even in losses, but he still stands out.
Okay.
So I would put him at, I mean, Quinn took that similar path, right? Back in the day, he was that young up-and-comer, but he was on not-so-great teams.
I think the main thing as well is we're talking about a player here who's a support player.
True.
There's a lot of players who climb ranks and do stuff as a core, but when you compare it to the rest of the region, they'll never be good enough to compete with the Quins and the Arbids of the world, right, in regards to the NA sphere. So yeah, the fact that it's a position 4 player, I mean, he went from playing on, what was it, let me double check. Went from the cut to 5-rat, back to the cut. Again, these are teams that have been Div 2, Div 1, Div 2, Div 1 for the best part of the time. So yeah, I hope he's able to, keep up the attitude. Maybe your dreams come true.
Yeah, I thought he got kicked from the team, so I was worried about maybe toxicity issues, but he's playing today, so I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Aframush did stand in.
Yeah, maybe he was forced to play and they don't like each other still, or maybe we just had wrong information.
Why he's playing techies.
It's like, pick me techies or I'm leaving right now.
I'm going to go to my job, or you pick me techies and I play. So
you see the tier 1 tower taken out, and a Midas pickup, by the way, for Solji's Dragon Knight. This is kind of an older school build, because, I mean, back in the day, Dragon Knight could not farm very well, but now you do have Shard for that.
Yeah. Most people treat Shard to be your Midas.
Yeah.
So the fact he's going to have Midas and most likely a Shard as well, I think it's probably a reason because
he's greedy. That's the reason. As you can see, B-God at it again. Gets the kill onto Shu, but Zor pops that ult. He's going to try to focus down B-God. Runs the other way, knowing that he has died. Zor gets the last hit.
DK had a completely free lane against Puck, right? So he farms mid, he feels it's a free game, and the argument will be, if Razor picks up a BKB and DK still got Midas Shard, no Blink, there could be a big disparity in timings where they can actually take the fight. So it'll be interesting to see if it pays off. Can he be super efficient to farm?
Yep, Soldier's going to get the initiation off onto Jubei, but it's just to support Dawnbreakers, so Actually, not sure why they're repositioning here. Expecting some backup perhaps, but the haste is there. Get back into that mid lane for now. And Shaggy's gonna snag a little Invis rune for himself. And then they have the obvious combos here. We got Coil into Solar Guardian, which we've seen so many times, and then couple it with the
Blast off?
The blast off, and
Very
then
good.
the searing, the burning barrage, sorry, from the Clinks. Of course, those last two heroes, not the most typical, but you can see the synergy for sure. So Waning Rift to start things out with the Coil, only on the one this time from Shaggy, but still going to lead to a kill onto Wake Me Up.
Oh, another wasted smoke.
Yep, as Solji in that dragon form, Midas not going to help him tank through this much more. He's going to get bursted down as the buyback onto the Marcy. And Shaggy gets Viper struck, and the rebound into the Dispose, but there's the heals coming up from the Solar Guardian. The stun to follow, and that's going to give Shaggy time to get out. Die back onto the Marcy as Fade trying to get the hell out of here, but Rajix is there with the Chakram, and the Cut are destroying in this fight. It is a 6-for-1.
They are just utilizing their spells perfectly, right? It's just this non-stop poke and chip and felt. Their lineup's about overwhelming in vision and just BKB dominance. And the fact that they haven't even been able to farm until that point yet, again, it's like probably an 18-minute timing. Their draft's super dominant. They weren't able to crush lane, so the Cut, they identified that, and they're just running over their opponents. You got Witchblade Puck, you got a Veil on the Techies, a Kaya on the Timbersaw. Like, they've all itemized to kill in this very moment. And it all starts with just this look. Shaggy goes in, they all throw some spells out from a distance, they go back. B-God, sure, he gets jumped on the top, but yeah, he does waste his smoke, but he's able to reset to the side, and just look how the numbers advantage from the Cut, right? It's 5 heroes here. Now Felt are TPing in. Look at the minimap. They're like hoping to get into the fight, but it's just too late. They're reaching the entire time, and the Solar Guardian saving the puck. Yeah, it's just not a lot of damage on Felt. A dieback on the Mastery, and just, yeah, perfect little poke and prod from Cut. We saw it in the bot lane fight. We're seeing it again here. Just outplaying their opponents, it feels like.
Yep, and you see B-God very happy with himself on this Techies today.
Oh no, wake me up.
Stay KD. What does that mean? The only KD I know is Kevin Durant, which is an NBA player, so I doubt that that is the reference there.
He's missing the A for KDA, so I don't know. Should I Google it? We have the internet out.
Yeah, Google that. Stay KD.
Stay KD meaning.
Let's see what we got here. Okay.
What does KD mean in slang?
Oh boy, make sure it's safe for work. As we have a Blink Dagger now onto the DK, so obviously slower than what anybody would be hoping since
one option was Kevin Durant, so we'll assume it's that.
It's
the other
Durant.
options I don't think are very good.
All right, so he's just a big basketball fan. That's good to know. 5K lead for the Cut.
And if we quickly check in with the Clinks, he has completed the Shard, he's got the Maelstrom, got the Dragon Lance.
Okay.
So you'd assume now it's Skadi territory.
Yeah.
Into then, if the game's feeling great, he'll go Daedalus. If the game gets a bit harder, he might go Hurricane Pack and BKB. But yeah, so far, it's been one of the better Clinks games because the rest of his team has done a really good job at just picking and choosing the correct fights. And it just feels like there hasn't been the Night Stalker threat of the mid game.
Yeah. No. As we see a Coil actually get expended here, and the Night Stalker, look at that burst damage, man. Coil, you break it, and then you have to worry about B-God coming in with the Suicide and the Burning Barrage after the fact. Or sorry, the Blast Off, that's right.
Oh, sorry, the Blast Off, thank you very much.
That's right. A Scourge. Looks like they're going to get a tier 2 tower, which I'm not sure they can really contest right now, as Shaggy isn't going to be able to get the Arcane Rune this time, and Solji will pick it up for himself. As Rajix working towards a BKB. And yeah, this tier 2 tower is definitely going Cut's way.
But this is an interesting little build. Again, Rajic's level 30 Timbersaw player. He didn't go for a Hood for the early pressure of Viper again. Again, it's just support, so maybe he doesn't care about it. He went for Kaya for the damage, and most Timbers in this scenario go for Sanj Kaya. But he's like, fuck it. Let's just go for the BKB. And that means he's not going to be annoyed by the Night Stalker, who potentially in the fight, if you don't find the puck, you can at least just silence the Timbersaw and annoy him. But now he's just going to BKB and not care about anything on the side of Felt. And we mentioned BKB is this DK, because he went for this Midas.
Yeah, very slow blink.
Yeah, and he still also doesn't have the Shard, so I feel like he's going to regret this Midas now. He expected the mid game to be a little bit better for him.
I mean, if you're a Midas builder, you don't regret Midas ever. You're that kind of person.
I mean, your team regrets it, then you might have.
Well, they regret it. What is that? What the hell is that?
Let's go back. Trivia time.
I have no idea what that was. That's like a different game. Is that a courier?
It's a courier.
I have never seen that one.
All right, I'll investigate.
Oh. Does it look? Oh, okay. It's that courier. Up close, it looks so much different. All right. Thank you, production. Solji still with that arcane rune. Let's see if he pops that dragon form just to get the extra CDR. Still has a few seconds left, but we'll be going for the BKB next. And yeah, the Midas hasn't felt very good, mainly because that is when the cut got very aggressive and won a couple team fights, which has led to their 6K lead.
Yeah, and Razor finally picks up the BKB. I would argue the DK might look to buy the shard pre-BKB just to give some damage, but at this point, you're playing into a 2500 HP Clinks, a BKB DK. Parku also looking for a BKB. Like, they're incredibly tanky on the cut, so BKBs aren't even in question right now for Felt. It's Razor versus the world, and cut, they know that. They're smoked up. A little bit of disconnection on Felt.
Shaggy, he finds the DK, silence to start things out inside that coil. Burning Barrage not going to do a huge amount, but you can see B-God coming in to finish the job, as he always does. He's going to TP out in the face of danger as well. You can tell I'm a real B-God fan.
I mean, yeah.
Everything he does, I'm like, man, B-God's so good.
Oh, yeah, he's the best. I mean, your casting for the series is and company, and then B-God fan.
B-God and company.
Yeah.
So 8K lead for the cut, and again, just to reiterate, the reason we have a three-way tiebreaker is because Felt, who were winless, beat the cut in the last series, and you can tell the cut are taking that personal.
A little bit, yeah.
They're beating them down real good here.
I mean, Felt also forgot to bring the carry player that helped them beat the cut to this series.
Fair.
No offense to Fade in any way, but of course Stonebank really did help out Felt in that series.
Well, he also helped Dogchamp today beat Arkosh, apparently.
That's true.
And Zor, not that far away from BKB, but it doesn't really feel like that is going to be... I mean, obviously BKB is needed, but where is the damage on this team? Ooh. That is the main issue. It's basically Razor.
Oh, Klink's just instantly dead.
Yeah, wake me up, done. So Klink's... What is he sitting on now? Has an ultimate orb, so it will be the Scotty as the coil is broken that sets up the Burning Barrage. Nicely played. Disgusting combo.
Just not the state of the game that you wanted on Felt. These heroes, they don't really play well from behind. Their ability to push out waves, not too hot. It pretty much is Razor and then DK again with the shard versus the world. So when you're behind, yeah, it's waves will always be pushed in. Klink's running around invis, you're always going to find someone. If you get found by Klink's, normally there should be a techies behind. So yeah, this lead, it's going to only get bigger for the cut unless they overplay their hand.
Yep, they're going to go for Roche, which it looks like Felt want to contest. They're going to smoke up onto 2, but we can see obviously that Razor, even though he has buyback, not going to use it here. And Aegis is going to go the way of Shaggy. And speaking of Shaggy on the puck, he's got the Arcane Rune. So he has Blink, Witchblade, Kaya. I'm going to go for the full Sange Kaya, the extra status resist. And when Scourge gets this Scotty, that's when it feels like Klink's, like his stat. Look at his stats, actually.
Oh, it's on cooldown.
He has so much HP.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
But that's what, like, on the draft panel I mentioned about Klink's, like, you are a creep up until you get to this perfect timing of, like, Dragonauts, Maelstrom, Shard Scotty. You're this 3k HP, non-committal style carry where you throw down your little skeletons with your Shard, you throw out a barrage, you can disengage it. Like, you are a very good hero, but a very item-dependent hero. And that's where you see Felt, like, they go for the smoke, they use the scan, they don't catch him. It's going to feel bad. And Scourge, at this point, you just run back to your team. You connect with the lads, you group back up.
I'm sure it was tempting to try to go for that stack, but he has an idea that they might have been in that area. They're going to smoke, though, to try to aggress, try to push this lead into uncomebackable territory. That's definitely a word.
Pretty sure it is.
Don't question it. You're actually going to look this up?
Why not?
There's no way this is a word.
Urban Dictionary.
That doesn't count as a word.
Jenna K, July 25th, 2007. She disagrees. She thinks it is a word.
You can put literally anything there. Oh, Burning Barrage, not going to do too much here. As Zor pops the ult, B-God comes in. Not able to get off too much here as the BKB from Fade. And it's keeping him alive as the chase is on. You can see Zor just focusing on B-God as the Solar Guardian is coming, but the buyback onto the Viper. Shaggy, very low HP. Still with that Aegis. We'll see if he re-aggresses, but considering the Aegis has such a long timer left, they might just end up going back here.
Yeah, Felt demonstrating what they could have been able to do if they had BKBs a little bit earlier. But the fact that they already have this big lead, the cut, they're able to go so aggressive, die, reset, and not really get too punished. Shaggy gets quite low. I think he dropped down to about 70 HP. It's difficult. That's the BKB, the first usage of the BKB from the Night Stalker, and not really able to get anything more than a techie skill.
Yep.
And look at Jubei.
He has an Aghanim Scepter.
And a Locket. Like this.
Yeah.
He is, in the words of, he's a big boy.
He's a big, juicy boy, is what I would say. Coil is going to lead to a kill onto Shu as the cut looking like they're in great position to get this best of one.
Yep, looking a cut above the rest here.
Wow. We've used that too many times.
I mean, it's my first time here. There we go. Thank you.
This is the first time you get the pleasure of casting the cut.
I felt that one. It was personal.
2 minutes left on the Aegis. This is going to be the tier 3 tower at the very least, although fortification is activated. And 20 stacks on that reactive armor. Rajix is tanking this up hard. He's going to get disposed, but Wake Me Up has to be careful. Was almost in the crosshair of that Burning Barrage, but looks like the cut are going to be pretty satisfied with that tier 3, and now they're going to reset to make sure that they play as disciplined as possible, because again, in this three-way tie, the winner, and only the winner, stays in Division 1 for the next season, which is in like 5 months.
The ambiguous next season.
The question is, who is the person that has control of the roster? That would be the interesting thing to look at.
Well, to give you some fun information here, if you're not sponsored by a team, it is often the captain, or potentially, in some sketchy scenarios, the manager. So in regards to the cup, a single entity of the cup will own this spot. So in 5 months' time, that could all change. So right now, they are playing for pretty much the owner of the cup, which is often the player or the manager. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Fade, instant BKB, nice fingers there. But that's still a BKB down. Shaggy, he's going to solo kill the Viper. Of course, he's only at position 5. As they extend this lead to 14K, make it 15 with that tier 2 tower. And the Scotty obviously online for Scourge. And he's going to be going for the old Daedalus. And at that point, he can just crush everybody.
Yeah, he doesn't need to buy any defensive items in this game. There's not been any pressure on him. Not once have we seen the Razor static link that clinks and scare him from fighting. Rajix and Dawnbreaker, even Techies and Puck, they've all done a perfect job at just building this imaginary wall in front of this Clinks and preventing any heroes on Felt to clump around this Clinks. And it's kind of what you have to do in this game. You pick the heroes to do it, but they've just been unable to.
Yep, and Melee Rax goes the way of Scourge and company. You can see Wake Me Up trying to get something here, but instead he's going to evaporate. And Scourge with, after using that Dark Pact, about 3,500 HP right now. And I believe he ate the How much HP does a skeleton have? Like, it's still better to eat like a centaur creep, right? It's just more convenient.
Yeah, it's literally convenient.
It's just, that's forced synergy. I never liked Dark Pact, if I'm being honest.
You didn't? You like the old school one? Where it's just
no, I think it should just be a new skill entirely. They tried Strafe for a while.
You don't want Clinks to have any bonus HP. Is he not quite a fragile hero if he doesn't have it?
Change his stats then. It's not the only thing you need to change.
Okay.
I just don't like the concept of the ult that you have to eat something in order to be...
Okay.
It's like a mini Night Stalker, except you need a creep around. It's just weird.
I think it's a fun interaction for the hero.
I'd say it's the opposite. See, Night Stalker is a fun interaction because you're doing something that is so super unique and it makes sense with the lore and it's fun. Even as a Daywalker, you have Shard now to do something at least.
to click a button.
Yes. Oh, Shaggy missing the Waning Rift. But, I mean, I come from old school Dota, so Dark Pass used to be a thing, then they deleted it, and now it's back again.
I mean, I'm happy that we don't see the clinks where you're throwing down the fucking, what's his name, the burning armies and all this stuff.
I like that, actually.
You like that?
Yeah, that was kind of
the team fights, the refresh. Remember the like the old refresher days, where you'd put 2 down and just not even take the fight. You have to like awkwardly click them as a support.
I'm not saying they keep it necessarily. I like that concept more than than Death Pact, personally.
Okay,
but
that's fair.
Like, if you have to use your skill to eat a creep in order to have a regular amount of HP, that's weird.
So you also don't like Midas then? Eating the creep for gold and XP?
That's an item. It's not a hero design.
You don't care about Doom now?
No, Doom's cool. Doom is cool because you gain the skills. I know that Clinks has a talent for that, but nobody ever actually uses it. As a last-ditch effort potentially from Felt, as they're trying to focus down Scourge, but you can see he's eating a creep, so he has a ton of HP. He's good to go. He's whet his appetite, so to speak. No kills come the way of Felt. They lost the Marcy, so Wake Me Up bought back. They did expend Coil on the side of the cut, so we'll see what they want to do here, but they have total map control, and this is a Gaben shellacking, no doubt. The question is, where on Gaben's body is it?
I honestly would give it one of the highest levels. Again, we have to scale it back, but...
So there's a Gaben.
Yep.
There's the mustache. There's the top hat.
Okay.
And then there's the umbrella, which has literally never been given out. So
okay,
that one can't be.
The umbrella you only use obviously if there's 0 kills in one.
Pretty much, right? Maybe 1.
But this is like the rung below that, because we've not seen Felt be able to construct any real aggression.
So you're saying it's the top hat?
It is a top hat.
Okay. Well, the cut, gonna be pretty happy with that as B-God not able to connect. Oh my god. All right, well, there was a hero there before, but Burning Barrage made sure that there isn't anymore. So 2 sets of racks looks like it's gonna go the way of the cut. And the Felt, not just Felt. Oh, actually gonna see a BKB on Shaggy. That is very surprising.
It's against Night Stalker. He's just respecting the game. If this was any closer of a game, Night Stalker would be the biggest threat to Puck.
It's not even about the game, it's more about Shaggy. But him buying a BKB on Puck is shocking to me. As that is essentially a dieback on the Wake Me Up, and now the final set of racks is what the cut are going to be focusing on, although they did leave it a range at the top lane, but Zor, even through the BKB, there's enough damage. Fade trying to steal some damage from B-God. That's all he's focused on all game, but the heals from Dawnbreaker are going to be enough potentially to save B-God. He has stayed alive throughout this whole fight, finally dies, but that's the cost of basically the entirety of Felt. And now Scourge looking to finish things off as a pause GG.
Oh no! You don't want to see this in the tiebreakers. The preemptive disconnect before GG.
They are not happy on Felt.
They're going to have an hour to get this guy back in shape.
Oh, but who left? Who was the first?
It was Solji.
Oh boy.
He is known for being a little bit spicier in his pubs, a little bit volatile there, but